Hi, church family. We are reading through the book of Psalms together. Today we're in Psalm 56 and 57. If you have not had time to read those, I would encourage you to pause this video, read them, and then come back. Psalm 57 is a psalm of David. It's one of the many psalms he wrote when he was on the run, this time from King Saul. In it he writes, beginning in verse 1, "Be merciful to me, O God, be merciful to me. For in you my soul takes refuge. In the shadow of your wings I will take refuge, till the storms of destruction pass by. I cry out to the Most High, to God who fulfills his purpose for me. He will send from heaven and save me. He will put to shame him who tramples on me. God will send out his steadfast love and his faithfulness." This seems to be a theme in the life of David, not just fleeing from people, but asking God to send from heaven or to come from heaven to his rescue. In Psalm 18, David asks God to bend the heavens and come down. In Psalm 144, David says to part the heavens and come down. And today, of all days, that we read this psalm, we celebrate the fact that God did just that. In the person of Jesus Christ, God bent the heavens and came down. That's what the message of the cross is all about. That's what the gospel is all about. When I read this psalm, I can't help but think that David got about this much of an answer to his prayer compared to what we get to see on our side of the cross. He saw just dimly like the deliverance of God, but we see it in full color as Jesus hangs on the cross, paying the price for our sin. In fact, the cry from David to send from heaven and save him, to come from heaven and show his steadfast love, is answered clearly, definitively in the person of Jesus. We read about that in John's Gospel, John chapter 1. This first century biographer, this eyewitness to the resurrection, writes this: "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. All things were created through him, and apart from him, not one thing was created that has been created. In him was life, and that life was the light of men. That light shines in the darkness, and yet the darkness did not overcome it. The true light that gives light to everyone was coming into the world." Verse 14. "The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. We have seen his glory, the glory as of the one and only Son from the Father, full of grace and truth. No one has ever seen God, the one and only Son, who is himself God and is at the Father's side. He has revealed him." Guys, as we read through the book of Psalms, I'm embarrassed to say that the psalmist, whether it's Asaph or the sons of Korah or David or Moses, that the psalmists have so much more passion for the glory of God than I do. So much more thankfulness, gratitude, praise than I do. And yet, isn't it true that I should have so much more? I mean, they are seeing dimly the things promised by God, but we get to see the fulfillment today on Good Friday. As you prepare your heart tonight to join us in one of our 3 gatherings for communion at 7, 8, or 9, as you prepare your heart, focus on the cross, read the Psalms, and know that all they hoped for, we have been given. We have seen clearly. We have beheld his glory. God bless you, church.